Hello my friends, and welcome to the advanced tutorial. Today we are going to make this cover, The Hunger Games, in Inkscape. Now as you see, I have downloaded a semi-decent version of it, but we are going to make this razor sharp in Inkscape. Let's go. We go to my downloads. We open it up with Inkscape. We embed it. Look how long it takes Inkscape to open here. Alright. Okay, so let's start with the page view right here. Let's start with the lettering. Now this lettering you can't get as a font. We have to copy it, and we won't be able to use the keyboard. We're going to have to make objects out of this lettering. So a handy tool for this is the good old bucket fill. Now we just made an object with a black fill. Let's change it to a white fill. See that? Let us use this grabber tool. You see how it's marked? Now we will go to the object view. Here we have an object. It's not that great, is it? Now we're going to hit F2 or use our path tool right here. And now we're going to delete those erroneous paths. So I mark them and I hit the delete button. I mark them and I hit the delete button. Now I want to straighten out these nodes here, right? I want this to be perfectly straight. So I'm going to hit the control button so that I can hit both nodes at the same time. I'm sorry, shift button, shift. Now I'm going to straighten them out with the straighten tool. See how that straightened them perfectly? They're not level now, but it doesn't matter. Here, I'm going to go across and break or delete all of the superfluous nodes here. Now watch, I'm going to mark those two nodes and straighten them out with that tool right there. Okay, let's make them level, shall we? Well, let's straighten these out first. Straight, 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 straight. So I've marked those two. Let's even them out. This is a great tool right here. You can even the nodes out here. So we used the align and distribute tool here. Okay. Now we're going to make those nodes perfectly horizontal. See that? Now we're going to make the next two perfectly vertical. You see how I marked them? Now they're perfectly vertical. And now that they're marked, I can move them with my arrow button on my keyboard. Oh, that's way too much. So we're just going to grab them and move them ourselves. Okay. Now you notice how I messed that up there. Let's make that perfectly horizontal again. Let's make these two perfectly vertical. Okay, that's good enough for now. We got a lot to do still, just on the U. But look at this. It's pretty good. These are superfluous nodes. I will delete that one, delete that one, and delete that one. So we have the absolute minimum number of nodes that we need. This is an object. You need to get used to these view tools. View the object, view everything, or view just the page. So we're just doing the U now. Let's view that object again. Now we've got a U. Now let's mess with that what do you call it, line fill and stuff like that. So we go to our format here and we hit the stroke tab here. This is the fill. This is the quick menu for fill. We can change the fill like this, or we can change it here. There's many ways to change it. Let's pick that perfect white again. Now let's put that red line in. The stroke is not selected. Let's put a stroke on that. It's black. Now we can just hit it red right there, and there we go. Let's go back to the page view right here. So there we have it. there's a U, a perfect U. Let's see what happens when we try to do the N. Now, this is going to be hard. What happens when we use the bucket tool? You get a bunch of erroneous stuff. Almost perfect. So hit F2 or use the tool. Oh, that's a lot of stuff there. So we could delete it all like this. I don't know what's going to be quicker. It might just be quicker to make it manually. Let's get the grabber, let's move it over. Let's use our Bezier tool, shall we? So let's just start with click, next point, click, click, click. I have a Wacom tablet, so I'm just pushing down with my stylus and doing this. Okay. That's it. Look at that. That's the easy way to use the stylus. We don't have any curves. It gets tricky with curves. Let's give it a perfect white fill. There we go. Let's get that back to red. There we go. Let's hit F2. Right? It's the same thing as hitting this tool. F1, F2. You should learn the keyboard shortcuts. Now let's go back there and make everything perfectly vertical. Right? These ones have to be perfectly vertical. These ones got to be perfectly vertical. And so do these. Now let's make them perfectly horizontal. That one. And that one. That's a perfect N if you ask me. If you want to get pingly, let's try those. Yeah. Look at that. Let's go back to the page view. So you can mess around with that. As you can see, it was easier and faster to draw that one manually. So play with the bucket tool and with the Bezier tool, and now do all of these letters. And I'm going to do that now, and we're going to come back when we're done with copying all of these letters. See you in a second.